and welcome to Working Forward with the American Advertising Federation Inland Empire. I'm Jessica Katawi, president of the IE chapter. I'm very excited because today we've got Chief Larry Gonzalez, so Riverside Chief of Police here. How are you doing, Larry?
Good, Jessica. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And so Larry's going to be talking to us about some of his experiences. And so let's start off with, tell us about yourself, how long you've been in law enforcement, and your recent promotion to Chief of Police.
Well, thank you. I've been a Riverside police officer for 27 years now. So spent pretty much my whole adult life working here at the Riverside Police Department, went through all the ranks, and became actually the interim police chief last September when our previous chief, Sergio Diaz, decided to retire. So I went through the interim process for about 5 months. Despite my best efforts, I told the city manager I was ready to go right now, but they still wanted to do a nationwide search, which I understand. So I went through that process for about 5 months and then was named as the chief of police in January of this year.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations on the promotion. Very exciting. And so let's talk about some of the challenges you and your officers have been facing and dealing with the COVID-19.
Well, I joke with people when I did put in for the chief position, it wasn't on the flyer that we would be facing a pandemic right off the bat. So I got to jump in with both feet right off the bat. So some of the challenges were early on was getting enough personal protective equipment for our officers. And that was a challenge for every police department nationwide, making sure our officers were safe. They had the actual medical grade N95 masks to put on them that actually filters out the virus. Mm-hmm. So as days went on, this country had come together so good, and our city especially, where we started getting the masks and the gloves and all the other personal protective equipment that our guys, and hand sanitizers at all the stations and all the cars, everything that the officers had readily available to them to do their day-to-day duties. That was the first major thing we had to get through, was that. And then educating our officers on the virus itself. Our officers are trained, to not get shot, to save their own lives, to protect others.
To protect themselves from a virus.
Yeah.
So challenging initially.
Yeah, and it was. So for them to understand we're facing basically an invisible enemy was a little bit of a hurdle. But it doesn't shock me that all of our cops, and I'm so proud of all the men and women that work at the police department, because nobody's calling in sick. Nobody's missing work. Our staffing levels have stayed strong, if not stronger than before. The strongest I've seen them in a long time. So, they don't want to not be here during this. They want to make sure they can help everybody get through this. So once we got through those hurdles to begin with the personal protective equipment and kind of understanding what this disease is, or this virus is, and then changing the way we actually do police work, which I might start answering, maybe segueing into another question, but the way that we actually respond to calls. So the things that we did make changes with is there's a lot of calls that we could handle either online or over the phone to do a report, where a lot of times you would send an officer out there, such as, a past call, a past burglary, a past theft, where there's no suspect information. You woke up and you found out your bicycle was stolen off your front porch. We will handle those online now, or on a telephone call with somebody that can do it that way, instead of having we're trying to limit the exposure, basically.
Right. So you guys have adapted. You've adapted, and you guys are doing an amazing job. Now let's talk about the masks, and the rumor or the news talking about how in Riverside you have to wear, or Riverside County you have to wear a mask or you can get a ticket. So let's talk about that. Tell me about that. What do you think about that?
We get that question a lot. We have a 311 system. You dial 311, and it's non-emergency issues, and it could be anywhere from somebody illegally dumping trash to whatever it may be. Nothing that wouldn't require you to go to a 911 dispatcher. So one of the things we did put in 311 was complaints of people not practicing social distancing or not wearing masks. And they gave the order out. The county gave the order, but it's up to the chief of police of each individual city within the county to enforce it as they wish. So we meet the county chiefs. We meet regularly, a couple times each week. We're all on the same page on how we want to enforce, including the sheriff, Chad Bianco, how we want to enforce it. So we've elected to enforce it by giving warnings. We have not given one citation yet for $1,000. I've heard that's the magic number, $1,000.
$1,000. That's what everybody's saying, and everybody's like, "Hey, I'm gonna get my stimulus check, and then I'm gonna have to pay. I'm gonna have to spend it on a ticket."
Yeah, my neighbor even, she knows what I do. She came across the street and says, "Are you really giving people a ticket for $1,000?" I said, "No, we're asking for compliance, and we haven't had to go any further because we have been gaining compliance, and that goes for also the non-essential businesses. That was another big thing, that what is essential, what is non-essential, and I'll have one non-essential business calling in on another non-essential business, saying, that they're open, or I know that this barbershop's letting people in the back door, or I know this place shouldn't be open and they're open. So we have a whole team that is dedicated to handling these calls all day, every day, and asking for compliance. And so far, we've been really lucky. We have been gaining compliance.
Now, I'm actually a partner in a restaurant, and so we're currently open, and we're following all the rules. We're wearing masks, gloves, and people come in and they want to order food. So I have a question for you. This is a little off the topic, but it's still on the topic.
Sure.
So if somebody comes into the restaurant and they order food, and we serve drinks, we sell drinks, are they allowed to sit and have a drink while they're waiting for their food?
That's a good question. I don't see if there's anything wrong with that, because I know that we would allow you to, if it was any other restaurant, if you go to a fast food place, we'd allow you to fill up your Diet Coke while you're waiting for your order to be ready. And I know that ABC also said that restaurants are allowed to serve alcohol, but they can't drink it there.
To go. So how do you guys feel about that? So people now are driving around with cups, with alcohol, with the lid. Is there a certain rule that you guys are following, saying, hey, if the, straw, what's it called? I'm talking about, like the.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing with that?
We're just if it came to a point where we stopped somebody for that, we would make sure that it was packaged up correctly by the restaurant.
Okay.
And then it would be on the person in the car that if they manipulated the drink some way, then that's on them. So
yeah, it's like, don't drink wait till you get home.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
please.
Awesome. Thank you. And then last but not least, is there a message you would like to send out to the community?
Just that I want to thank the community, because honestly, our calls for service have gone down a little bit, knock on wood. Maybe it's because everybody is they're doing what they should be doing and staying inside. So even if in the next couple of days, we might start seeing it flattening out a little bit, and people get excited. You got a day like today where it's absolutely gorgeous. It makes it even harder to stay inside and quarantine. So we're just asking to stay patient, keep towing the line, if you go outside, cover your face. And I think because of that is why we're going to start seeing it flattening out, is we're already seeing some good results right now where the numbers aren't quite as high as they predicted they were going to be at this point. And I think that's because we are doing the things we should be doing, such as social distancing, wrapping your face up when you go outside.
Yes.
And things like that. So I would just encourage our community to continue to do that. We will get through this. I don't want to get too cliche-ish. We'll get through this together. We will, though. If we continue to do these things, we'll get through this and get back to, I'm going to say, the new normal, because there will be a new normal. I think everybody knows that.
Right. Yes. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much, Chief Larry, for joining us for this segment and all that great information. And thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you got some great insight out of this segment. And if you are a local business that wants to be highlighted on this segment, please hashtag us Working Forward on Instagram, or you can send us a message and we'd love to highlight you. And once again, thank you so much, Larry. And we will see you guys next time.